I'm about to send your attention span to the Shadow Realm.
Welcome to another video, and today we are trying to cheat out a big Simic and a very big Valgavoth on turn 2. Not a meme, alright? How do we do it? Okay, I'm going to show off the combo first, and then I will show off the rest of the deck, and then we'll get to the games. So how do you do it? Alright, how do you get these guys out? Alright, turn 1, you play the Elf. You play the Elf, you play your Botanical Sanctum, or your Yavimaya Coast, alright? You play the Elf. Turn 2, you play Growing Dread. Growing Dread enters, it manifests a creature, which means you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and you put one of them face down as a 2/2. And if one of these guys, one of these big boys, are in the top 2 cards of your deck, you just hit the lottery, alright? Because you use your Elf, which means you have 1 mana left, and you can use 1 mana Splash Portal, and you can flip it face up, and it turns into the creature. So that is how you do it, turn 2. You go Elf. Turn 2, you go Growing Dread, Splash Portal, Valgavoth. And that's the goal today. All right, we're going to see if we can pull it off turn 2. Obviously, the odds, we only got 7 hits in the deck. So the odds of hitting, one of those 7 in the top 2, we got to have all the right pieces. Very unlikely, but let's get to the game plan. Because just because the odds of it happening on turn 2 aren't super high, the odds of it happening later are drastically better. All right, because we also have Unnerving Grasp. I was looking for cards to deal with aggro decks, and this seems like the best one. All it does is return a non-land permanent to the hand and manifest Dread, but that's pretty good. That's kind of what we want to be doing. We slow our opponent down. We set something face down. If we hit one of our bombs, we can flip it face up later. How do we flip stuff up? Because just the Splash Portal is not enough. We also have the Hotwood Shrieker that once it's on the field, green and 1, reveal a face down permanent. If it's a creature, flip it face up. So that's our backup way to flip these up early. We have Vannifar to put cards from our hand face down. We have Hide in Plain Sight to look at the top 5, put 2 cards face down. And that's the plan. That's the plan. We also have Oblivious Bookworm. This card loots at the end of each turn, and if you put a creature face down on your turn, you get to draw a card instead. So this guy is our kind of very critical piece. It filters, it lets us loot, and make sure we get the pieces we need, and discard the Valgavoths and Komas we can't cast. It is possible to hard cast Koma in the deck, and you can also pay the mana cost of a card to flip it face up if it's a creature, if it's face down. So we can flip up the Bookworms and the Hawwoods, Shriekers, and the Vannifars, and even the Komas if they get flipped face down. Valgavoth, though, we got to cheat them out. We don't have any black mana in the deck, so the only way we're getting Valgavoth out is by cheating him, but very good. In the sideboard, we'll do a quick look. We got Ghost Vacuums for Graveyard Hate. We got Negates for Control. We got Tooth Runs for the black-based mid-range decks. We got Dissection Tools to bring in against kind of mid-range and aggro when we're getting pressured on our life total. We got Triple Horned Lock Whale. The whale is here, all right? All my water lovers, they want to see whales, and here's the whale, all right? Horned Lock Whale we bring in against aggro because of the Lagoon Breach, and also because it is a creature that we can manifest face down and flip face up. It has a 6/6 Ward 2. If we get this on turn 2, obviously this is a pretty big threat. Opponent's going to have to deal with it. We also have Stormcoil Vanguard, same reason. All right, I was playing this in the Beans deck. Love this card. 2-mana Adventure Bear Down, and it's a 6/7 that can't be blocked by creatures with low power. So we can bring this in against artifact decks. If we happen to manifest it, we can flip it face up. All right, that's the deck. Let's get to the games. All right, we are playing in rank today. All right, so don't complain. People complained last time I wasn't playing ranked. So we'll see. Is ranked any different from regular play queue? We shall see. It'll be sweatier, that's for sure, maybe. Opponent is choosing. Probably going to choose to play first. And we got the Elf. We got the Growing Dread. We got Bookworm. We got a Valgavoth in hand, which is not great, but if we draw Vannifar, that's all right. So opponent also playing Elf. Interesting. Let's lead with the Sanctum. If we draw that Splash Portal, we can Growing Dread and Splash Portal. Opponent offering the Elf trade. Well, I'm gonna not accept that, because if opponent is attacking with Elf, then they don't have a use for it, and my Elf I may have a use for. We're gonna try our best to combo here. All we got to do is draw a Splash Portal and hit a Valgavoth or something off this Growing Dread. I mean, it can happen. And that is the fun of this deck, alright? It is fun because every manifest is a hilarious tension. Okay, so opponent bottomed a Curious Forager, which returns a permanent from your graveyard to your hand. So this, I believe, is the deck that plays that 2-mana black-green enchantment. And every time they remove a card from the graveyard, it will create a plant. So I believe that's what opponent is up to. I think I'm just going to play the Bookworm here. We're going to play the Bookworm. We're going to surveil. We get to loot. There's the Splash Portal. All right, so we're definitely going to draw a Splash Portal here. I think I'll put the Hedge Maze to the bottom of the deck so that next turn I can play this Forest and try and manifest. That's the play. Do we manifest on the upkeep or do we draw first? Do we manifest on the upkeep or do we draw first? Oh, maybe I should have kept this just to surveil the top card. We could get an extra look. Opponent killing my beloved guy. All right, guys. This is a hard choice. I'm going to draw first. Natty draw. It's Vannifar. Okay. Oh, well, we drew Vannifar, so new plan. All right. Because I drew Vannifar, we can just manifest this Valgavoth from our hand. Instead of lottery mode, we can just do it. Cloak a card from the hand. Let's cloak this. It's not suspicious, opponent. This is not suspicious. They can kill this, but it has Ward 2, so they got to pay, all right, to kill this. So are they afraid of my manifest, or are they brave? We'll see. Opponent also doesn't have their, I think it's called Roots, something Roots. Okay, Jubilant. Yeah, this is the Roots deck for sure. Opponent is playing Tyvar. This is played in the Roots deck. We haven't seen a copy of Roots yet, but Tyvar gives their creatures the ability to activate their abilities at an instant speed. And so what they do is they just like get these Roots plant tokens, and then when they have so many Roots plant tokens, they can somehow tap them for mana, I think, or they just use abilities. They give them a mana ability and they tap them repeatedly, and they just keep casting spells and keep making plants. Every time a card leaves the graveyard, they're gonna make plants. I know it sounds like I'm talking nonsense, but that's how it works. All right. Now we have Valgavoth already. Let's see if we can hit something better, I guess. You never know. Manifest a Temple of Mystery. And I think it's time to just manifest, flip our Valgavoth face up. We could attack with Vannifar, but I don't really see a reason to. Let's go. Let's go for it. It's Valgavoth in time. Opponent, can you deal with Valgavoth? Let's cloak an additional card from the hand here. Just get some bodies. Stop their plants. Opponent's graveyard now is dead. Any card they send to the graveyard gets exiled instead under the Valgavoth, so they need to find removal. And in order to remove, thank you, opponent, they are scooping to the Valgavoth. It does shut their deck off. We know what they're up to. We got the sneaky Valgavoth, and opponent's playing Roots. So let's get Stormkeld Vanguard, because killing Roots is important. Let's get Dissection. Oh, sorry, not Dissection Tools. Let's get the Ghost Vacuums to exile their graveyard. And do we want to bring in Thrun here? I don't know if I want to bring in Thrun. Thrun is maybe a bit questionable because they're playing green, and we already saw they had the Spider, which is green. Thrun can't be targeted by non-green spells or abilities, so it's kind of makes sense to bring Thrun in if you are playing against a deck that is not playing green. So what do we take out here? Unnerving Grasp seems really bad against them because this is an anti-aggro card against a mid-rangey value combo-y deck. Unnerving Grasp, especially against all these little things that are not really worth anything, they can recast instantly. Unnerving Grasp, not that good. It's also not a creature, so we've added a bunch of... What have we added? We added some bears, so we added 3 creatures, 3 non-creatures. So we're taking out 4 non-creatures. We can feel okay about taking some creatures out since we got the bears now. What else should we remove here? All right, do I remove the elves? I'm going second. And it's kind of like a weird thing. We did go second game 1, but I kind of feel that elf gets worse if you're on the draw. If going first, elf is really strong, but going second, we'd rather have some bookworms and stuff to manipulate our hand, I think, rather than have the elf. All right, I think those are sufficient changes. Let's go on to game number 2. We snuck a Valgavoth in, and that got us through game 1. But opponent now knows what we're up to. They won't let us get away with it. All right, we won't get away with it that easy this time. Koma in the hand. We got Stormkeld Vanguard. We got Growing Dread. We got Vannifar. I think I will keep this. Do need to draw some lands, but we have a way to remove their Roots. So if they play Roots, they slam a Roots turn 2. We're going to Storm Calvan. There it is. Insidious Roots. This was the card I was talking about. Love seeing the second bear as well. We will be immediately killing this. It is the combo piece their deck is built around, so we need to kill that. Not going to let them have it for a single turn. Opponent. Playing a Swamp, playing an Elf. They have a second Roots. No one expects the bear, part 2. Destroy the Roots again. Alright, now we have no more outs to the Roots. Thank you. But we're out of bears. We're out of bears, so opponent, this is going to be a fair fight now. It's mana Elf with... Okay, hold on. Does this get any permanent or just creatures? Return a creature. Okay, good. We're safe. We're safe. They can't get the Roots back. They cannot get the Roots. They're going to look at our hand. They're probably going to take the only card I can cast. Which is the Growing Dread. Because then they know I have nothing. And I got to draw lands or 2 mana spells. Best draw here is probably the Looter. Looting guy can loot away this nonsense hand. To draw some lands. Because we've drawn a lot of things that we don't want. Opponent pumping up. Alright. We drew a land, which is nice. Now we just got to draw one more. And then I can Vanifar, put some stuff into play. It might be better to hide in plain sight, actually. We'll see. We'll see what we draw. Opponent going to pressure us a lot now. We have the curse of losing on the land drawing part of the game. We had the outs to the Roots, but now opponent is going to get us with their aggro land. We probably have at least one more turn. Taking 4, 5. We have one more turn. Okay. We drew something to block with. That is nice. We got to hope opponent doesn't have removal. We'll get slammed for a little bit less. And then maybe we can manifest something and flip it face up. At the very least, if this lives, we'll be able to make some blockers to chump this aggro land. Opponent's thinking. They're cashing in the Tyvar, looking for more pressure. Sending some cards to the graveyard. They're going to get a Rubble Belt Maverick back. And Surveil. Now we are not... I mean, this is not an aggro deck, but they are putting us under a lot of pressure here. Would very much like to draw an untapped land. See if the deck can cooperate. If we do lose here, we get to be on the play in the next game, so it's not the end of the world. I definitely will not block. We take 4, but then we can put up some chumpers that will prevent us from being at major risk of death. Opponent, putting counters on the bat. Okay, let's do some math. We take 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't die to the bat next turn, so we're going to try to draw land or something like a Valgavoth. We hit Valgavoth with a Shrieker. Shrieker's kind of the combo on a stick. We have a chance. Alright. We have a chance. Okay, alright, we got 4 life. We can take 1 hit from the bat. Not a land. Alright, I don't think I can afford to play this Bookworm. Let's attack. Valgavoth, 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 Valgavoth. Alright, it's not a Valgavoth. We hit a Bookworm and a Vanifar. It's too late to trigger the Vanifar. So do we just put the Bookworm down? Put the Bookworm down. But I think we're going to die if opponent all-out attacks. If opponent all-out attacks, then I think we die. So I'm just going to play this Bookworm. We're going to pretend like we have like an instant or something. We're gonna pro gamer play, all right? Or pretend we have an instant, and then we get to draw a card. We could draw. I don't think we have any 1-mana interaction. Draw another Valgavoth. Okay, it was 1 card away. No, it was 1 card deep. We were so close. We were so close to hitting the Valgavoth and flipping it face up. It was 1 card too deep. Valgavoth would never. Why would Valgavoth betray us like this? Truly a tragedy. All right, opponent is going to all-out attack probably. Oh, maybe they're too afraid. Oh, no, they're just pressing each one at a time. Okay, we die. Let's bravely accept death. I will prove to you that I did the math correctly by blocking in the optimal way. And we'll block this elf, and we die. This is 5 damage. All right. Okay, you know what? Our mistake was drawing all of our big creatures instead of lands. But, alright, we're on game. This one we're on the play. And we're going to bring in the elves. We're going to keep... Are we even going to keep the Ghost Vacuum? How good is Ghost Vacuum against them, really? Honestly, Ghost Vacuum kind of helps them more than it more than it helps us. I might take out these ghost vacuums. Maybe I was wrong about the ghost vacuums. Maybe they're not even good. We didn't use the ghost vacuums in this game at all, but I think I'm gonna take them out. I don't think they actually do anything. And we missed on lands that game, which makes it look really bad, but these things happen. Sometimes you don't hit all your lands. We gotta have one more card. I don't want to put in dissection tools just to gain life. Do I want just a whale, or do I want an unnerving grasp to slow them down? I think I'll just bring in a whale, just a single whale. Whale's an okay hit. Ghost vacuum, like, doesn't really stop their combo. I think just the bear is better. So let's try this. Let's try this. All right. I believe we will get there this time. We will not draw Valgavoth instead of lands. We will draw lands and not Valgavoth. Oh, this is the turn, potentially turn 2 Hauntwood Shrieker. Only one Koma in the hand. We got Splash Portal, flip things face up. Let's give this a shot. We gotta hope opponent is not on the kill elf plan, but their deck seems to be not having a lot of room for removal in it. We didn't really see any creature removal in game 1 or 2. We didn't draw an untapped land, so our elf is just here to do elf things. And we are again in the draw Komas and Valgavoth instead of lands part of life, but they got the roots. All right, they got their combo piece. Do I go for the Growing Dread or the Hauntwood Shrieker? I think I'm going to go for Hauntwood Shrieker here, because this gives us more chances to look at cards, and it's more mana efficient. So the Roots deck isn't likely to combo us like in a way that's lethal immediately. So we do have a bit of time to find something good. We'll see if opponent tries to keep setting up, or if they have some removal that they want to use on my Shrieker. And if they do kill the Shrieker, I got a second Shrieker I can deploy. And we got the Growing Dread. We can just Growing Dread Splash Portal. Our kind of hope here is that opponent just Dirtles for a turn, and then we can Hauntwoods, hit a Valgavoth. Opponent may not have the out to it. Cash grab, that's some Dirtling. This is exactly what I was saying. I was saying I want some Dirtles. Opponent gonna make a single plant. Give us 1, 2, 3, 4 looks. 4 looks. Alright. Surveillance. So Roots triggers when a creature leaves the graveyard. So they have to have a creature leave. So they're going to block with this Rebel Belt in order to have a creature in their graveyard they can remove to trigger the Roots. But I'm going to attack. We're going to hit a Valgavoth. Not a Valgavoth. We hit a Bookworm. Bookworm is okay. Bookworm's alright. Not going to complain about Bookworm. Let's play the Growing Dread. We got another chance. Another shot. Another Bookworm. Alright. Well, second Bookworm is fine. Let's deploy our Elf. Pretend like we just don't have the mana. Maybe opponent will be scared of our face down cards, and they won't, they'll use removal on them. That's another thing that could happen. We are making a lot of face downs. We're throwing down a lot of face downs right now. Opponent's Tyvar. They still don't have a creature in the graveyard, so they gotta get lucky and mill one, which they did do. Got the squirrel. So they're gonna get a plant and a squirrel. So this could very quickly go against us. If we don't find Valgavoth or a way to get a Koma into play, we could get overrun here. We do have the Bookworms to draw, so hopefully we can find our lands. And they get pumped by the Growing Dread, so they become 3/4s, which is pretty big. Bigger than the plants that are currently there. We probably have to kill Tyvar, because Tyvar is a problem, giving their creatures haste. Because the Roots give their tokens a mana ability, so they can tap them right now. And that means that these creatures add mana. So opponent is very quickly going to have like a huge amount of mana. An unreal amount of mana. And their mana makes them get more stuff out of the graveyard, which makes more plants, and the plants are bigger for each plant. So we could be in trouble real fast. Drawing a bear would be nice as well. Draw second Splash Portal, okay. Well, I think we gotta get on the aggro plan. Let's pressure the Tyvar, because again, the hasting is very dangerous. Pressure Tyvar here. Opponent does have a Death Toucher, but I don't think we can afford to not attack with the Shrieker. Hitting more non-Valgavoths is not great. Opponent maybe will choose to block. Oh, they're chumping instead of death touching. Okay. Are they going to let this go through, this one? Opponent's deciding. They're double blocking. They're letting this live. They're letting Tyvar die. Alright, well, I'm going to flip this face up. It's going to get bigger. And I guess I should use... There's no point splash portaling anything, right? Yeah, no point splash portaling anything. I'm going to use the ability of my guy to do it. Because then I can pay a single green mana. Flip it face up. Put some counters on this. No point flipping this one up yet. Let's get the damage first. Alright, Tyvar is dead.
So long as evil lives, so
now, I'm thinking about splash portaling my land to ramp myself. Might actually be the play here. So I splash portal ramp for one. I can still flip this guy face up and draw 2 cards. Seems worth it. So we might be hard casting Koma. That is a way to get out of this. And then we'll use the Hauntwood Shrieker, flip this face up. Take action. And we'll be drawing 2 cards. 1, 2. Take action. More Komas. Okay, there's the lands. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So this is 6. So if we draw 1 more land, we can start card casting Komas, which is the plan. Opponent probably going to start making a lot of plants. But we are digging through the deck a lot with the bookworms now, at least. And they didn't kill our Shrieker, so we get 1 more look for the Valgavoth. We got 1 more splash portal. Opponent. Squirreling. They have not applied a lot of pressure to us. They've spent a lot of time dirtling. Making plants and that sort of nonsense. But 1 Koma is a pretty big threat. There's Overlord. Can they cast Overlord from the graveyard? Oh, they can because of this squirrel. Squirrel says you can cast creatures from your graveyard. But they can't tap these with haste, so... Oh, thinking about removing my Shrieker, maybe? Opponent. Thinking. We just gotta get something big on field. They have so many blockers now. We're not really going to be able to pressure them with normal combat, I don't believe. Okay, they're casting Overlord from the graveyard and making a plant. That looked like it made 2 plants, weirdly. Oh, it made a plant and put a counter on each other plant, right. This card is very annoying to play in paper. And they can cast this Tyvar from the graveyard to give their plants haste. Does it let you cast any card from the graveyard? Only creatures. Oh, this Tyvar's in their hand now because they got him back with the Overlord. Overlord can get planeswalkers. Alright. I'm learning how Overlord works. Only ever use this in an all-creature deck. Opponent. Making Tyvar. So now these have haste for their mana ability. So he's got 3 more mana. And this is the combo that this deck does. It just makes so many plants that you get overwhelmed by the plants. And they very quickly get very big. Opponent. And this card is an interesting addition to the deck, letting them cast creatures from their graveyard by foraging, which also triggers the Insidious Roots. So they can cast this Rubble Belt Maca or the Overlord, make a plant. And so every time they do this, it only costs them 1 mana. So they can just keep casting Elves and Overlords from their graveyard over and over and make like a billion plants. So unfortunately, being a blue-based deck, a blue-green based deck, we do not have any Wraths. So we don't have a way to remove a board of a billion tokens. So we kind of had to just hope to get lucky and hit a Koma or a Valgavoth. And unfortunately, we did not get lucky. We got unlucky. And opponent is now in Value Town. I think we have maybe 1 shot to hit Valgavoth and not die, but we may be dead next turn, very likely. I get to attack with the Shrieker and hope that we hit Valgavoth. We're not going to get another turn to draw to hardcast these Komas and attack with them. So let's attack with just the Shrieker at Tyvar, but I don't think it matters at this point. Valgavoth. Valgavoth may even... That's the best hit, and that may not be enough. We do not hit Valgavoth. Opponent has a lot of plants, and they can combo again next turn. So we could draw a whale, maybe. Whale lets us at least interact with our opponent a little bit. But I find it highly unlikely for us to live. I would be very surprised if we can live. We have only... How many whales did I put? I put one whale in the deck. So I will tap like this. Well, I guess we'll leave the elf up. Yeah, we'll do this. And we'll see if we draw a whale. And we'll see if we live. This is a hide in plain sight. Draw a card. Not a whale. Draw a card. Not a whale. Alright. Opponent probably going to kill us here. Very unlikely that we live. But we got him in game 1. And, you know, opponent got lucky with us missing lands in game 2. And game 3 they got their combo. We didn't draw our bears. And opponent got likely is going to get us. These are very big now. We're going to have to do math to block. And we might get one more turn. But I don't think Valgavoth can save us anymore. Opponent gets to steal our splash portal. So we won't be flipping Valgavoth's face up with that. We still got the Hauntwood Shrieker to flip stuff face up though. They also don't know that this isn't Valgavoth. They could think that this is Valgavoth. We can make them think it by looking at it repeatedly. We got the ability to activate. They don't know that it's not Valgavoth. So maybe they'll be too scared to attack. They're going to activate the Restless Cottage and attack with that. It's possible opponent's too scared to attack us. We could feign that we have nothing. Or feign that we have a Valgavoth. Okay, opponent is going to just keep comboing more. So this Overlord costs 1 mana and then basically generates a plant. So, and puts a counter on each plant. And mills their graveyards so that they can forage more. So the Osteomancer are very good. Again, being a green and blue deck, we have very poor ability to remove creatures on the field. Which is why we kind of rely on our janky combo to win. But opponent is punishing us with their Dirtling. We do have to make them have lethal. They're going to have to attack us with enough plants that we die. Right now we have the ability to block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants. So the biggest one is 12. So 12, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants blocked. These two are not lethal. So opponent's got a ways to go before they can make a lethal attack. I will block with as much as possible to not die. And maybe, again, maybe opponent won't attack because it's not lethal. And this is Valgavoth. They get punished really hard. Okay, opponent not playing into that at all. Alright, so we gotta just block the biggest plants. So let's start by blocking the biggest plants with our stuff we don't care about. And then do some math maybe. This is still unblocked. So this is 9. We gotta block that one for sure. This one is 8. Probably have to block that one as well. So we'll block with our elves. And then we got 7 plus 6. That's likely too much. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so we got to block that one as well. Otherwise we die. And we see if we live here, I guess. This was the most damage we could have blocked. It is still lethal damage. Alright, well, close. We won game 1. Game 2, a little messed up. Game 3, we got a little unlucky on the flipping. But we're going to take it to another game. And I believe that we can pull off the turn 2 Valgavoth. Let's go. Alright. Looking for turn 2 Valgavoth. This hand is not doing anything. This hand is also not doing very much. But at least we have lands and spells. So we will keep this. We will put a hedge maze on the bottom probably. Although I do need double green. I'm gonna bottom one of these islands. And we shall see. We can Temple and Growing Dread. See if we hit something we can flip face up. We got the Unnerving Grasp to bounce our opponent's stuff back to their hand. Valgavoth. So we can't really use Valgavoth, so let's bottom that. We don't have 2 lands, so we can't flash into Growing Dread. Valgavoth's trying to be in the wrong place. Opponent is probably playing the Convoke deck. Convoke deck is very strong. We have Growing Dread that we can flash in, but opponent's creature flies. So let's hope they don't have the Convoke card that makes them... Okay, looks like they don't have it. They don't have the one that makes the 3 tokens. That's the most frightening one. Nova's Inspector is here. Opponent getting in. Alright, well, if they get in with our flyer, we can manifest. The manifest can block, and we hit the Shrieker. Okay, Shrieker is nice. We can flip Shrieker face up, play Forest, flip Shrieker face up, and start doing the thing. Let's hit them. Let's manifest. Growing Dread or a land. Okay, no creatures yet. Next turn I can scry before I Shrieker, if my Shrieker is still alive, which is asking a lot. We also have the Unnerving Grasps. I will attack with the Shrieker before I bounce probably, but we shall see what opponent does. Opponent's thinking. They're probably going to start convoking stuff, or they may be making a bunch of tokens. Okay, there's the convoke. So the Knight Errant is here. Knight Errant getting a Warden of the Inner Sky. Okay. So what's the plan here? I think I Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze, I attack. They trade the Knight. It's not the end of the world. Or the other option is I bounce this back to the hand, but that just gives them even more value. Although, bouncing this does mean we're putting up more pressure. And if they convoke again, they're getting really far behind. So I think I will actually Unnerving Grasp. Will manifest a Koma. Very nice. Pressure the opponent with an attack. Hit a Vanifar. Very nice. Okay, we're getting lucky. Now we're getting lucky with the hits. We'll scry here. And a Bookworm. Do we want Bookworm? I think Bookworm's fine at this point. We can Unnerving Grasp again. And we're getting to the point where next turn we can just flip our Vanifar, flip our Snake. And that's pretty sick. If we get a Snake hit, we're doing really good. Opponent may feel like they just want to Convoke again. Alright, Convoke again is what I like to see. Slow and Dirtling. And if opponent doesn't remove the Hogwarts Shrieker right now, they're going to take the beating of their life. Okay, they hit some Recruiters, but that's not doing anything right now. Sheltered by Ghosts, hitting the Shrieker, but this is not actually a huge problem because we can bounce it back to the hand. Yes. Bounce. Hey. We get back our Shrieker. Oh no, but we won't have the mana because we gotta pay the ward. So we're gonna pay the ward. We get back our Shrieker. We get to manifest another Vanifar. Shrieker comes back. Let's smack the opponent. They are taking a lot of damage. They're all the way down to 4. They're just gonna die to our unflipped Kona. Opponent, we're still at 18. They're not applying too much pressure. The Unnerving Grasp has been very good, or have been very good right now. Felt very good that turn. Okay, opponent's just Convoking again. Again, they're in a spot where they're just gonna die to the tokens. Like I don't even need to flip. They're gonna need to be chumping this turn. They need 1, 2, 3, 4 chumpers. Otherwise, they're gonna die. And I don't see a way they can get 4 creatures out. So opponent needs to have another Sheltered by Ghosts that they can block with. They actually do have it. So what am I doing now? We draw a Koma. So I think what I do is flip Vanifar, and then I start putting counters on my creatures with the Vanifar. We put counters on my creatures. What happens if I all out attack? Opponent goes up to 9. They block Vanifar. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's lethal. What if opponent blocks one of my face-ups? They block it. They go to 9. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is lethal damage. Opponent, block away. It is still lethal. We did the math. And that is game 1 versus Convoke. And we got him. All right. So what do we do in game 2? Dissection tools. Do we want to go up the dissection tools? I don't think so. I feel like in this matchup, they have some scary enchantments. So Storm-Killed Vanguard could be worthwhile. The Unnerving Grasp were very good. Liking the Unnerving Grasp. We like our early blockers with the Bookworm. Are we cutting some of our top end? Do we cut the Komas? Komas and Valgavoths are very important to our strategy. So maybe I just cut the hide in plain sights. Cut a couple hides. And just try and pressure them. Remove their stuff. Put some sneaky things into play. Let's try it like this. Let's try cutting the hides. Hide's a little slow in an aggro matchup. Making 2/2/2s, even if they're a Valgavoth, could be too slow in this matchup. So that's the strategy. We'll see how it goes in game 2. If we win game 2, we're good. If we lose game 2, we can revisit the plan in the sideboard. Opponent is an Eldrazi. I believe we can manifest. We can manifest Valgavoth. I believe. Let's go. Okay, good hand. We got the Storm-Killed Vanguard. We got some Bookworms to loot. We got a Scryland. I'm going to keep this. We can Vanguard to pop their scary enchantments, their auras. They're playing main deck removal. Main deck removal aura. So we shall see if the bear comes in handy. Opponent. Warden. Warden is here. Let's scry. We do not want a second Koma. So we'll scry that to the bottom. Opponent, what are you doing next? Opponent's mana base is very difficult. They're 3 colors and they're looks like they're short on lands. So we can get the free win. Let's take action here. Draw discard. If we have Valgavoth and Koma in hand, I would rather have Valgavoth than Koma, although they have so many things to sack. I think I'll dump the Valgavoth. We'll keep the Koma here. Valgavoth is better, obviously, but it's more likely we get to the lands to cast Koma than ever casting Valgavoth. We don't have a Vannifar. Probably just going to be casting a Bookworm next turn. Ooh, okay. Are we casting Bookworm or are we manifesting? I think we will... First we'll attack. If opponent does something sneaky like double block, that's fine. And we'll play a second Bookworm. And then next turn we can draw 2 cards with Growing Dread and flash it in. Opponent's probably got the flash soldiers here. Okay, yeah, there it is. Resolute Reinforcements. Not worried about some reinforcements yet. Let's draw 2. Gonna keep the Splash Portal. Probably we'll discard 1 land. See what our next draw is. Second Bear. I think I'll discard second Bear. That if they have an enchantment, we'll pop it with this one. We shouldn't need a second Bear. We'll see if I regret that. Opponent, do you have removal? They do. They have the case. Okay, this case is very annoying. So they attack with 3 creatures, and then it flips and boosts their creatures' attack by 1, which is very good when they have a wide board. So what we're going to do is we're going to manifest Dread, and if we hit something good, we'll flip it. If we don't hit something good, we will use the bear. So let's Growing Dread. We do have to play Yavimaya if we... Okay, we hit Vannifar. Hit Vannifar, so... Okay, so this means next turn we have it. Next turn we have it. So let's Storm-Killed, pop this. Hopefully opponent doesn't remove our Vannifar. I'm not going to attack here. We're going to hold. We get to draw a card. Drawing another Manifest is nice. So our plan is to flip Vannifar, play this Yavimaya, and then use Splash Portal to flip a Koma. That is the plan. Opponent shouldn't be able to remove Koma because of the Ward 4. So we'll see if it works. Opponent Dirtling. Knight Errant of Eos, that is what I like to see. I love to see some Dirtles. Opponent Dirtling with Knight Errant. And it seems like, oh, they're getting value, but against a deck that combos, they can't afford to Dirtle and get value when we're going to be sneaking Komas into play. Opponent. They're going to tap, boost the Warden, but they can't attack. We got too many blocks. Opponent's scrying to the top. Okay. Looks like we're going to get there. Let's pay to flip Vannifar face up. Leave up our blue. Oh, Arena would have messed us up there. Let's pay the pain blue first. Flip Vannifar, put a counter. Go to combat. cloak a card, cloak the Koma. Are we attacking here? We could attack with Vannifar, but we don't want to die, so let's not do that. No attacks. Flip up the Koma. Like, the only way we die is opponent somehow aggroes out enough damage that we die. So next turn we got the Growing Dreads. We get to attack with Koma. If opponent, like, there's no way for them to remove this, so their only way to stop it is by blocking with 8 toughness worth of creatures, which doesn't seem feasible. Does not seem feasible. We could be getting there. Opponent ward 4 means no way for you to remove this. It blocks all your stuff on the ground. The Oblivious Bookworm was not oblivious at all. Drew us into everything we needed. Opponent, what are you going to do? We blew up your case. The case was solved, but we threw it away. There was no justice for you, opponent. Opponent's thinking, if they just dirtle again, dirtling is the best thing that they could do for us. They have no way of dealing with Koma. He is ward 4. You don't have the out to this. They don't play board wipes. Their removal isn't going to work. They look like they're convoking. If they convoke another Knight Errant, that is so good for us. So good. Opponent is really looking at their lands. There it is, another Knight Errant. The dirtling. So opponent does have enough blocker power here that they can stop the Koma from dealing damage if they block with both their Knight Errants. They can't kill the Koma because they don't have 12 power, but they can stop it from dealing damage, which they're killing the Bookworm. That's fine. I don't really care about Bookworm now. Bookworm has done his job. We also have 3 Growing Dreads we can put counters on with Vannifar. If we find another blue, I guess. Alright. We found a blue, but it's tapped. So let's Growing Dread twice. Hit another Koma. That's good news for later. Alright, that's good news for later. Let's play another Growing Dread. Opponent can't kill the Koma. They got only, yeah, they don't have enough toughness to kill the Koma. Oh, Haunted Shrieker is very nice. This lets us flip up our future manifests. Let's put this face down. And then I'm not gonna manifest. I'm gonna just put counters and everything. And we're gonna attack with a Koma. Opponent's gonna double block. Oh, they're not gonna double block. They're just gonna let us have the snakes? That's gotta be wrong. I was sure they were gonna double block there. Okay, so what is opponent's plan? Lethal Demolition. If they haste it up, I still don't think they have enough attacks to get through all these snakes. Yeah, so they're gonna recruiter us. But I don't think this is lethal. I'm pretty sure this is not lethal. So let's okay, block like this. Block all the big damage stuff. And block the biggest ground creatures. We'll block with our snakes first. Block the biggest ground creatures. And block as many of the 2/2s as we can. So we're taking definitely not lethal. We blocked as much damage as possible. Opponent, did you kill us? We are still at 6. And opponent, you are dead. Let's counter it up. Flip up the oh, opponent not letting us get the attack in. Not letting us get in the attack, but that was a 2-1 stomping against Convoke, a very powerful deck, a very aggressive deck. And I think the Unnerving Grasp, alright, we didn't even play one in this game, but in that game 1, Unnerving Grasp was the card that got us there. It was the key card, alright, that got us through the Convoke deck. Very amazing. And the, you know, don't even joke. The Stormcold Vanguard blowing up that case can apply so much pressure. We stopped them from attacking with our Oblivious Bookworm and blowing up that case. And they had to dirtle, and we took advantage of the dirtling with the Koma. Cannot believe opponent chose not to block the Koma there, giving us all those snakes, taking that much damage. Crazy. Alright, we are on to the next game. We got a pretty okay hand. We got Elf, we got Splash Portal, we got Growing Dread. We actually have the ability to do the combo. We got the combo. All we have to do is hit a Valgavoth off the Growing Dread turn 2. And also draw a land. We got to draw an untapped blue land. That is the thing we're missing. Opponent looks like they're playing oh, beans. They're playing beans. If you saw the beans video last time, you know we could be in trouble. Valgavoth, no! Valgavoth was 1 card too early. Alright, let's play the Growing Dread. We can't Splash Portal because we don't have a blue source. So do we play the Bookworm instead? It might be better to play Bookworm first. And that way we can, yeah, play the Bookworm first, but hit with the Elf. And then we can next turn maybe start trying to get the nice hits. Alright, Valgavoth, get out of here. Koma, also 1 card too early. Bookworm, thankfully, getting rid of all these big cards we don't want in our hand. Okay, we draw the blue source, so now we can Growing Dread. We hit something good, we're golden. We can also hide in plain sight, dig extra deep. There we go, there's 2 Komas. And now we are on the turn 4 Koma plan, which is a lot slower than turn 2. But let's draw a free card here. A lot slower than turn 2, but turn 4 Koma, also very good. Opponent is Get Losting or Bookworm. Alright, Bookworm is not the thing you need to worry about, opponent. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a land, so we couldn't use the Hauntwood Shrieker as I would have liked to. We're going to hit first, alright, because once we flip them with the Splash Portal, they can't attack. How about Koma number 1? Opponent, you have 2 lands and 2 beans. We have a Hauntwood Shrieker, a Koma, and a Dream. Opponent, there's no 3-mana answer for this that I know of. I guess they could have the Destroy All Untapped Creatures 3-mana Wrath. Looks like they don't have it. Would you like to get smacked, opponent? We're gonna smack. This is a lethal smacking, I believe. Opponent has no removal. This is a lethal smacking. Alright, let's put this land into play. Opponent, do you have removal to not die? Looks like they don't have it. And they are dead. Alright, love to see it. Fast game 1. Let's go to sideboarding. We're playing against the Beans opponent. Opponent, let's go back to the battlefield. Opponent playing Beans, playing Spelunking also. So a lot of enchantments. So the Bear, it is the Bear's time to shine. And Bear has been the card we've brought in the most today. I would say that. Also, obviously going to bring in Negates. Opponent's probably playing Board Wipes. We're going to take out the Unnerving Grasps. Those are for aggro. This is not an aggro matchup. And we're going to cut 1 Elf since Elf is likely to die. And we don't want our lands to die. Opponent, you get to be on the play in game 2. Can they control us out of the game? All right, 2 Valgavoths? I don't think so. Get into the deck. We got Ramp, we got Elf, we got Hide in Plain Sight, we got Bear. I think we're going to keep this. So just deciding what land to put back. Double blue is nice, double green is nice. I think we're going to keep it like this. We're going to go for the turn 1 no life loss Elf. We'll save our Hedge Maze for... Oh, okay. Botanical Sanctum is better. We get to have it all. Blue and green and an Elf. Opponent putting a Overlord into their graveyard. Sign of things to come, maybe. Opponent. Aiming Horror. Playing a Beans. Okay, well, we are killing that Beans. Faster than you can say Beans. We are killing the Beans. Let's scry. Or Surveil. Growing Dread? I don't know about this. I'm thinking. We'll keep it, alright, because we have Hide in Plain Sight and Growing Dread can dig. We just need to find our Hauntwood Shrieker, which we can flip face up if it's manifested. So if we just plan to hide next turn, then the Growing Dread gives us a way to keep going. Alright, opponent looks like they could be gearing up for a Sunfall, but we gotta hide here. Okay, Vannifar and Valgavoth or Koma and Valgavoth. Vannifar just puts more creatures into play, so I'm gonna go for the maximum potential value. All we gotta do is find a way to flip these bad boys face up, and we'll be doing very hot. Okay, we can Bear blow up their Overlord so it doesn't flip on us, or I can save it for another Beans. Let's just start by getting in. We can't flip anything up yet. We're a couple lands away from flipping up the Snake. Does opponent want to remove something? Opponent is Get Losting. Okay, they Get Lost the Valgavoth. They don't know which one this is. They can't see. It's just face down. It's a mystery. But they're going to pop the Valgavoth, giving us a bunch of maps. Alright. I think I might be interested in popping this Overlord while I have the mana available. So let's pop the Overlord. Opponent can't flicker it or anything weird. I feel like they might have the 1-mana spell or a Sunfall. We're going to hold up Growing Dread, flash at the end of their turn. So if opponent board wipes us, we still got a creature pressuring them. Is the opponent really going to do nothing? Opponent doing nothing. Okay. I will take do nothing. We'll Growing Dread again. We shall Growing Dread. Hitting another Valgavoth. Where? Okay. Now we just got to get that flip. We got to get that flip. Opponent. Oh, opponent thinking about removing something. Oh, changed their mind. Okay. Well, let's get attacking. And maybe we'll be playing a bear. Could be playing the bear this turn. We'll see. I am kind of worried about a Wrath, so I don't want to overextend too much. We have another land, so we can cast our bears later. Opponent get lost on the Koma. That is sad, because Koma was flippable next turn. They didn't know it was Koma. They're taking 2 from the Secret Valgavoth. But let's pump our Elf to try and get a good card on the top of our deck with these maps. Map number 1. I don't want to deploy the bear yet. I think that's why we're gonna go with the maps. Land, okay. Glad to get that off the top. Let's see if we can find something better than land. Okay, another land. Let's see if we can find something better than another land. Negate. Okay, I kind of do want negate. Negate's a little awkward because of the mana situation, but let's do it on the elf. We don't. Valgavoth is big enough. He doesn't need more counters. We're gonna keep the negate on top, and if opponent board wipes now, then it's fine. We can play the bear. If they don't board wipe, we can hold up negate and stop them from doing anything too weird. We don't know what opponent is up to. Opponent could be up to anything. Angel. Herd Migration. Okay, they made a lot of Herd Migration tokens. I think we probably want to play the bear now, but let's scry first. All right, another negate. We don't want a second negate. We have one already. One negate is enough. I think we're going to play the bear so that we can block some of their tokens. And then we can attack, and they need to block with 3 tokens to trade with the bear. Gotta hope opponent doesn't have more gas. Leyline Binding. They were kind of making out like they may have had a Leyline Binding the whole game. So bear is gone. Bear down. Oh no. Maybe that's what bear down means. Opponent with the second Herd Migration, and we're down to 5. I don't know what we can flip with this hide in plain sight, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a spin. We don't hit anything good, so I think we're gonna have to go to game 3. Yeah, let's go to game 3. That's a lot of 3/3s. We do not have enough blockers. Let's go to game 3. All right. I think our sideboarding plan was okay. Do I want to bring an elf back in? I don't think I do. I think we're going to keep it the way it is, and we're just going to believe harder. Thinking about the whale, but I don't think it's time to bring in the whale. Whale's for aggro. We haven't seen very much aggro today at all. All right. We are on the play. We got 2 bookworms, a splash portal, and a Koma. So if we find Vannifar, we'll be able to sneak a Koma in. Let's scry away that scry land. Botanical Sanctum into Oblivious Bookworm is our plan for next turn. And Bookworm can hopefully... Oh, triple Bookworm. We got Bookworm Tron. But I don't think we'll be keeping all these Bookworms. We'll probably be discarding third copy of Bookworm. And we're going to try and deploy all the Bookworms before I Growing Dread. Although, I could go for the Growing Dread Splash Portal. Draw Vannifar. Okay, Vannifar can sneak the Koma into play. I think I'm just going to go for it now. Let's Growing Dread. Oh, we hit the Valgavoth. The turn 3 Valgavoth. This isn't turn 2 Valgavoth, alright? But turn 3 Valgavoth is still pretty good. Opponent gets smacked a little bit. Just a little smackage. We draw a card just for the privilege of sneaking a Valgavoth into play. And we are living the dream, opponent. Do you have a way to remove Valgavoth? You have 2 turns to live. Valgavoth is dealing 9. You're at 18. Opponent, would you like to be smacked? Would you like to be smacked for a casual 11? Just a nice little 11 off the top. Opponent, your beans is sitting there, but it's a little slow. We're gonna... Okay, draw land. That's nice. We got to discard. I'm going to discard the Koma. Nah, just discard the Bookworm. We're done bookworming now. And now we can flash in Growing Dread if opponent somehow manages to destroy our Valgavoth. They got to play untapped white source 4 mana Wrath. That is their out. Giving us a Herd Migration is nice. Thank you, opponent, for discarding that into Valgavoth's exiling effect. opponent. Do you have untapped white source? They didn't search for a white source. Oh, okay. Tapped Elegant Parlor. I think this means we're going to get there. Opponent Overlord tapping out. I don't know if they counted, but we have lethal damage on them. Let's sneak in the Growing Dread in case they have something I don't know about. That's 0 mana. Basic land. Opponent gets smacked by Valgavoth. Second Valgavoth in the hand to watch. And that is lethal damage. Beans deck too slow against the combo. Love to see it. All right. Well, we had a lot of luck today. And that is what this deck needs if you're playing it. You need a lot of luck. You gotta get lucky with your flips. You gotta not get lucky, or get better, or get lucky with your draws. Not draw the Valgavoths when you don't have Vannifar. And hope you don't get too much removal. So I think that is the gameplay for today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe if you like this sort of content. And I'll see you next time.